What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another Chef's Garage video. Today I'm going to be discussing a pretty interesting topic, and that is why we need more hot hatchbacks in the United States. Without further ado, let's get straight into this video. But first, if you are new to this channel and this is the first time seeing my face on your screen, don't forget to please click the subscribe button down below for more awesome Mark A GTI content and other car content on this channel. I'm trying to become a full-time YouTuber and cannot do it without your guys' support. You guys have been crushing the support lately. I just wanted to say thank you guys for 2,000 subscribers. A special is definitely coming soon. And yeah, without further ado, let's get back to the hot hatchback video. Now, having owned my Mark A GTI for just a little over 3 years at this point, I've come to appreciate how amazing this factor is of a car. I have a car that makes basically almost 300 horsepower. It's front wheel drive with a limited slip front differential, and I can carry 4 people and 4 sets of golf clubs in the back of it. I mean, name another sedan that could do that. None, exactly. In this video, I'm going to explain what makes these hot hatchbacks, and I guess this also could apply to wagons too, so cool, and why I think these factors of cars are better than any new SUV or crossover. Let's face it, these are way better. Now let's actually start on the subject of practicality. Now obviously, because this is an hatchback, I have room back here like any normal car. However, the great thing about hatchbacks is, like SUVs too, the back seat is accessible from the trunk. So if I come over here and let's say I put the rear seat down, right, I just have all of this room, which means, you know, I can fit, like I said in the beginning, 4 sets of golf clubs and 4 people back here. Or if I need more room, you could probably fit a decent sized bicycle back here. And the best part about this part is you have all this practicality and all of this space, and you still have the powerful engine up front. This can go to any hot hatchback or any wagon too. I just think that these cars, especially coming from a practicality standpoint, are just so much better. Now yes, SUVs do that exact same thing too, where in the back of the trunk, the back seats and the trunk are basically connected, so you can fit all the bikes and golf clubs and people you want in the back here. However, the problem with SUVs comparing to, let's say, a hot hatchback or a wagon, for example, is the height. The height can be an issue from a driving standpoint. First of all, not even talking about drive point standpoint, but practicality standpoint, loading things into the back of this versus loading things into the back of that, it could be more difficult. You have something heavier, you have to lift it higher to get into the back seat, versus wagons and everything are lower. So in some circumstances, the wagon is a little more easier and practical to load up with items comparing to an SUV. When it comes to a driving perspective, the SUVs have a big height advantage, which in some circumstances, yes, may be better, but from an actual driving standpoint, which is what you're looking for in a practical car, if you're watching this video, the SUV doesn't drive as well, in my opinion. For example, having driving the Q8, SQ8, and RSQ8 of this car behind me, I can say that all of them basically are the same height off the ground, and yes, the engines are very nice. Twin turbocharged V8s, the V6 in this, they're nice. However, from a driving and handling standpoint, they do not nearly handle as well as, let's say, a wagon or a hot hatchback. Reason being, the height. Obviously, it's higher off the ground, so the center of gravity is higher up on the car versus on my car, for example, the center of gravity is pretty low, or any other wagon, it's lower down, so it's gonna handle a lot better. Obviously, this all depends on the buyer. However, I can say 99% of car enthusiasts like a good handling car, including me. And because of that, I think car enthusiasts would prefer the hot hatchback or the wagon alternative to any SUV. sticking with height of SUVs versus to wagons and hatchbacks, I also find the height of the car to be an issue when driving it as well. I don't know if it's because I'm only 5'6", but I like the way this car sits. It's lower down to the ground and it feels more comfortable to drive, in my opinion. I find the driving experience of this more enjoyable because, you know, I'm lower down to the ground. I'm closer to the road. Versus the Q8 here, which I'm using it as an example, the height to get in, it's a big jump, and once you are in it, I just don't like how high this car sits. I don't know if it's because I'm too short. I don't know if it's because I just don't like being up high in SUVs when driving them, but I find just being up higher off the road to be a little more unsafer when I'm driving. You know, I can't see out the windshield as well. Like, coming from my perspective here, I mean, it's bigger, obviously, so it's a bit of an adjustment, and I prefer that lower, more visible out the windshield type of feel when I drive a car. It could just be my height, I have no idea, but that's just my preference, at least why I prefer hot hatchbacks and wagons compared to SUVs. And the final big point I want to make here is the looks. I find wagons and hot hatchbacks, they just look so much better. I mean, coming from, you know, let's say the Q8 that's over there, I find this car to be really good looking. Any hot hatchback or wagon is gonna look basically the same. I mean, the hot hatchback is kind of just like a shortened wagon, I guess. But I mean, I like the lower look of this. I like how, like, when it comes from a side profile, it's kind of like a car, but with the practical end to it. It's like a sedan with the more practical end to it, versus like the Q8 over here, it's all styled around that like big body, you know, SUV look. So I don't know, it could just be a preference thing, but I prefer, obviously, this, and that's why, you know, I find these just to be better cars in general. Unfortunately, with the car industry the way it's going, we are going to be seeing less and less hot hatchbacks and less wagons. More companies are transitioning to SUVs because everyone says, oh, I think I need an SUV, or everyone wants to buy an SUV, which I sort of disagree. I think if people really invested in looking at, you know, the hatchback and the wagon versus the SUV, then I think, me personally, people would enjoy driving something like this versus something like that all day, any day. But let me know what your thoughts on this hot topic are in the comment section down below. Do you prefer the wagon or the hot hatchback style more, or do you prefer the SUV? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.